Awesome. Okay. Radhe Radhe everyone. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to another session of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Today we are going to learn about proprietorship. I hand over to you, Nitinji. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Sandhya, and thank you, Padminiji, Gayatriji, for a wonderful session. I caught up towards the end and loved the bhajan, the new one that was played, very melodious. So welcome, everybody. Good morning, good evening to all of you. Welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Today we are going to talk about a very important aspect of surrender, the sense of proprietorship. And all of us have it to varying degrees for different things. So today we are going to reflect on that. First, go deeper into this concept and then see basically what is the guiding principles around increasing our surrender around this. What are some of the tweaks or modifications we can do in our day-to-day life to counter this challenge that we all are confronted with. So let's get started. I will pull up my screen and we will get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru. And we have a short lecture also planned from Swamiji today, so we'll watch that as well. So give me a sec. I'm going to share my screen to get underway. Are you able to see my screen?
Great. Yes.
Okay, so let's get started. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanurmardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Radhe Radhe. Good morning, good evening to all of you once again. So let's get started. We've been talking about this shloka from chapter 18.62. Now, if you're joining in for the first time or if you're joining in after a while, there is no time warp that has happened where we have shrunk the time and space around what we are covering. We are still going at our pace. So technically we are at chapter 4. However, we have been covering, doing a recap of all the chapters. We finished chapter 1 and right now we are in chapter 2. We are touching upon some of the key concepts. And as part of that, we came across the concept of grace. And grace leads to surrender, and that is why we have picked up a cross reference from chapter 18. So we are a long shot away, probably a few years, maybe a decade away from reaching chapter 18. But be rest assured, during the course of this journey, we would have done so many cross references back and forth that you will be getting the gist of entire Bhagavad Gita, not have to wait that long. So don't get scared that we are completing our Bhagavad Gita. We are again going to come back to chapter 2, then do chapter 3, and then back to the sequence that we are in, which is chapter 4th, shlok 32nd is, I believe, where we are right now. So let me recite the shloka and then you're welcome to follow along, and then we'll get into the topic of our discussion today. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim anam prapsyasi shashwatam. All right.
Radhe Radhe Samji.
Radhe Radhe. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashwatam.
Wonderful, very nice. Thank you, Samji.
Radhe Radhe Ashutoshi. Please go ahead.
Ashutoshi.
Radhe Radhe. तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्. राधे राधे.
Wonderful. Thank you. Ashutoshi.
Akshata ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
राधे राधे. तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादं शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्.
Wonderful. Very nice, Akshata ji. Thank you for turning your video on and reciting. I think after a bit of a break, I guess. Okay, let's quickly pick up the remaining hands.
And I'm going to prioritize the ones who have turned their video on. So I will request everybody to consider doing that. Uday ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Tam eva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. Radhe
Thank you,
Radhe.
Uday ji. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you for turning on your video, Dinesh ji. Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
राधे राधे.
Yeah, Dinesh ji.
तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्. राधे राधे.
Very nice. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Riya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe.
तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्. राधे
Wonderful,
राधे.
Riya ji. Radhe Radhe. Okay, let's take a few more hands. Minal ji.
Yeah, Sumesh ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Sumesh ji.
राधे 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 संध्या जी. राधे राधे एवरीवन. तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्. राधे राधे. थैंक यू.
Wonderful. Thank you. I hope everybody has recited, memorized this shloka by now. Very important shloka. Okay,
Yes.
let's pick up the remaining hands real quick.
Yeah, thank you, Ramesh ji. You have also turned on your video. Radhe Radhe, please go
Thank you,
ahead.
Ramesh ji.
राधे राधे. तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्.
Very nice, Ramesh ji. Thank you very much.
Chaitra.
Ramesh?
Yeah, sorry. You were saying something, Nitin ji?
No, I think Ramesh ji was an Amber Avatar Express, came and went. So, but thank you for turning on your video. We're going to talk about Amber Avatar as well today. Okay, let's pick up the remaining hands.
Radhe Radhe, Chetan ji. Please go
Radhe
ahead.
Radhe, Chetan.
राधे राधे
Chetan.
संध्या जी. राधे राधे नितिन जी. तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्. राधे राधे.
It's very impressive, Chetan. Whenever you have recited, you have done it with a lot of fluency. So it's almost like, I don't know what you were waiting for. You are born to recite these shlokas. Okay, I'm telling you that. Let's move on. And pick up some more hands.
Renal ji, Radhe Radhe, please go
Last
ahead.
3 and then last four, and then we will move on.
राधे राधे.
Radhe Radhe, Minal ji.
तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्.
Thank you, Minal ji. We are missing you in Prem Yoga this time around.
Yeah,
That's going on
I
again.
wish I could come.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nit.
Thank you. All right, last 3 hands and then we get started.
Okay, Pragi ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Pragi ji.
Radhe Radhe. Sorry. त्वमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्.
Wonderful, very nice. All right, last two hands then.
Sairam ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
राधे राधे
Ramji.
तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परं शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्.
Very nice. Thank you, Sairamji. All right, I see. All right, one more hand, two more hands.
Anita ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
राधे राधे तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परं शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्यसि शाश्वतम्. Thank you,
Wonderful.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Anita ji. So let's get started. This shloka, we're talking about surrender, and Lord Krishna is saying, surrender exclusively unto him, is referring to God, which is himself. With your whole being, O Bharat, by his grace, you will attain perfect peace and the eternal abode. Now let's get into the concept. We have spoken about the principles of surrender, and we are going to move forward and talk about the fifth principle of surrender today. So this is the concept that we are going to talk about. What does it mean by having a sense of proprietorship? That's the question that we are posing. And what does it mean to see everything as we possess belonging to God? I mean, how do we bring in that consciousness? And what is this concept of proprietorship? We all have it. And today we are going to reflect on that. We all have it, I said, for varying things to varying degrees. And this is one of the things which is a illusion that our mind has created. And we will see how that illusion is created by our mind and why we need to confront it for our own benefit only. Okay. So this is the concept that we are going to talk about today in greater detail. Let's get started. We will do a quick recap. These are the principles of surrender, 6 principles: to desire in accordance with the desire of God, not to desire against the desire of God, have a firm faith, God is protecting us, to maintain an attitude of gratitude. That's what we did yesterday. And today we are going to talk about to see everything as we possess as belonging to God. That's the 5th principle of surrender. And then last but not the least, we'll probably cover it briefly tomorrow, to give up the pride of having surrendered. Let's move on. Let's start with a short video from Swamiji. Let me know if you're able to hear it. Audio is okay? Cool. Let's get started.
Now the 4th point of surrender. What is this? To feel gratitude for all the graces we have already received. See, that is the final grace we are desirous of, which will lead to liberation from Maya and God realization. But on the way, we have received so many graces. Kabahunka kari karuna naradehi deta is binu hetu sanehi. The human form we got was by the grace of God. And then the earth we live in, the air we breathe, the light we receive, all this is His grace. Feel gratitude. Now, Father does so much for the Son. Tell the Son, feel grateful. The Son responds, why should I feel grateful? My Father is doing His duty. His Father did for him, He is doing for me. You will say, this is kritagni, ingratitude. Similarly, God has bestowed so many graces, at least feel gratitude. It is He who has bestowed life upon us. Without Him, we would not have existed. Without Him, we cannot eat. All that we eat is prasad. Whether you offer it or you don't, it is still prasad. One lady, she bought a meal for me. So I said, Deviji, who made this sabzi? She said, Swamiji, I made it. I said, you made it? Did you make the aloo or did you make the gobi? No, that my husband got from Walmart. I only cleaned it and cooked it. So who made it? It was God's technology that transformed mud into potatoes and cabbages. Is there anybody else on this planet Earth who has set up such a factory that from this side you have mud going in, on this side you've got potatoes and vegetables coming out? This technology is only with God, which means everything we are eating is all His grace. So fill your heart with gratitude. That is the fourth point of surrender. And the fifth point of surrender is see all you have as belonging to Him. Give up the sense of proprietorship. Dvayaksharam tu bhaven mrityur trayaksharam brahma shashvatam. Mameti tu bhaven mrityur namameti brahma shashvatam. This verse says 2 syllables if you adopt, you will be in bondage. Change them to 3 syllables, you will get liberated. What are the 2 syllables? Mameti, mera, mera, mine. Now change it, mera, nahi, na mameti. You will be liberated. This concept we have, this is mine, this is mine, this is all ignorance, because we will leave it all one day and go away. Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to say that God smiles on 2 occasions. The first time He smiles is when the child is sick and the mother is crying. The doctor has come and the doctor says to the mother, "Don't worry, I will save your child." God smiles, "Mr. Doctor, is life and death decided by you or by me? You can only treat. I will cure or not cure, it is in my hands." And the second time God smiles is when 2 brothers divide their father's property. They measure the land, construct the fences, and put up boards. One says, "This is mine." The other says, "This is mine." God says, "What is yours? You came empty-handed in this world. You will go back empty-handed." दुनिया में खूब कमाया, क्या हीरे क्या मोती. One billionaire said, "I earned so much in the world, precious stones and gems and gold and silver. दुनिया में खूब कमाया, क्या हीरे क्या मोती, लेकिन क्या करें यारों, कफन में जेब नहीं होती." The shroud doesn't have a pocket. I was not able to take anything. In fact, even if the shroud had a pocket in the cremation ground, it would have been burned. When you came, you were empty-handed. When you go, that is how you shall go. The world and everything it belongs to God.
All right. So hope you enjoyed this short and sweet video to set the context for today's discussion, the 5th principle of surrender that we are discussing. It's a good habit to make people smile, but it's not a good habit to make God smile, okay, by our ignorance. Right? Swamiji said God smiles on 2 occasions: when doctor says, "I'm going to save the life," and when 2 brothers, they are dividing the land saying, "This is mine, this is mine." So those are the ignorant things that we need to ward against. And then Swamiji so beautifully said, right, इस दुनिया में क्या कमाया, क्या हीरे क्या मोती, but क्या करे वो यारो, कफन में जेब नहीं होती. In fact, the great Alexander, he said that when you're going to bury me, after he conquered the entire world, he said, "Then keep my hands outside my coffin so that the entire world can see even the great Alexander who conquered, at least he aspired to conquer. That's a different thing, he could not. He also died empty-handed." So basically, nothing is ours. That is a very, very important concept to understand. And that illusion or that ignorance is so deeply embedded in our mind, which is the cause of so many miseries in this world as well, and the anxieties and the fears that we have as well. By the way, tomorrow we will tackle this question of anxiety and fear as well. Why do we have that, and how it is directly correlated to the spirit of surrender or the proportion of surrender that you have. We'll pick it up tomorrow. Okay. Now let's get more deeper into this topic. So to see everything we possess as belonging to God. Now, what do we possess? Let's get started. Let's build that. Okay, these are the things we start. It starts with our body. It's me. We are the soul. Divine soul is our scripture saying. It starts, this whole drama starts with, it's me, it's my body. Okay, now the whole drama starts unfolding. Now the bodily associates start becoming mine. My spouse, my kids, my family, my parents, my relatives, my bank account, my family, relatives, my friend, my religion, my country. What is yours, to be honest? Right? Anything that you're saying mine can be snatched away in a moment. Can we truly say if something is mine, I can hold on to it? Nothing. Nothing. It's basically a grace of God bestowed upon us so that we can uplift ourselves and truly get closer to the goal of life. If not completely achieve the goal of life, at least get closer to the goal of life. It's a facilitation He has done through some of the souls who have been strategically placed to help us on the journey, to improve ourselves on the journey, and to give us the tools and the lessons that we need on this way of journey. And what happens in the process? We get so hung up in them, my this, my that, my, and start building attachments, and then start building fears and anxieties around it, start creating agendas around it. Our whole world starts unfolding around it without understanding nothing is truly ours. We have no proprietorship, starting with the time of our birth, the family of our birth, the gender we were born in, the parents we were born in, the religion we were born in, the country we were born in, the kind of situation, circumstances, relatives we were given. Nothing is in our control. It is, and still we think we own it. So Jan, Mrityu, Labh, Hani, Yash, Apyash. These 6 things are controlled by God. And everything is strategically planned for you. It's a custom made course for each one of us. We cannot say we got stuck. Only if I had better situation, better parents, better relatives, better spouse, better this, things would have been different. No, it is there for a reason. You learn the lesson and make the most of it. So this my thing, that sense of proprietorship, it's a false illusion our mind creates. Truly nothing is ours. So what is the spirit in which we should operate in that case? The spirit is called the sense of proprietorship. Instead of proprietorship, it is a sense of being a trustee or a caretaker around everything that we have. And we will look at it through some examples to understand the mindset that is required to look at this principle. Because we are on the other extreme. Everything is mine, mine, mine. Even your bank balance. If banks collapse, if stock market crashes, whatever investments you have made, if an earthquake comes, everything can just become a rubble in no moment whatsoever. So the fact that we are getting something, first of all, we should understand it's not because of our doing, right? Have that sense of gratitude and an attitude of caretaker around that. God has endowed us with relatives, with kids. So we are caretakers, not something that we control, or they have come, they don't come from us, they come through us. And it's a responsibility that God has endowed, not something that we think we control everything and they belong to me kind of a deal. Shyamji, you had a quick question?
Radhe Radhe Shyamji, please go ahead.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. There's a chat in the chat box comment from
There's a chat
RTG.
in the comment, I guess. Yes, please go ahead.
Sorry. RTG is asking, Radhe Radhe, can virtues be counted as ours or punya be ours?
The virtue, see, the bag, that is the baggage your soul has to carry. Right? So ours means, yes, in that sense, whatever you are working on yourself from a spiritual standpoint, that is your asset only.
Okay.
And whatever merit you have acquired, the result you only have to take for that. So yes, that is truly your spiritual wealth. Right? So only wealth that we can acquire in this world is the Devic Guna or spiritual virtues, so to say. Rest all we have to leave here. Nothing can go with us. If anything could go with us, we will fill our pockets to the best possible way on the flight to wherever we are going, and probably even try to bribe people along the way for a better planet, right? Something around that. But that's not possible. God has not given. It's like when we board an aeroplane, they take the bottles away, liquids away. If it is similarly, when we board the flight to next life, everything you said, no, nothing is, no baggage allowed. Everything stays here only.
Thank you so much. Radhe Radhe.
Yeah. So if you look at the example of Draupadi, surrender part of it, she also had a sense of proprietorship until she finally got to a state of perfect surrender. What was that sense of proprietorship? When this whole thing started unfolding, Duryodhan started disrobing her. The first thing that came to her mind was my husbands. Each one of them was like, when Bhim would send an elephant, it will centripetal force would put them into a satellite position, that much powerful. Arjun, the best archer. So she had sense of proprietorship, or the my husbands, they are going to save me. She was not nirashrit at that point. She was ashrit on her husband's bal. But then they hung their head in shame, basically said, no, we cannot do anything. We have lost in the game of duty and we cannot really help you because we cannot do that. Then she looked at the elders. Now she has the Jan Bal, basically, that his relatives are going to save her. We had Kripacharya, Dronacharya, Bhishma, Dhritarashtra all sitting there. They also put their head down because they can't do anything. Then she had Swabal. She's one of the Panchakanyas, so she was pretty powerful. So she tried her Swabal, tried to tuck the sari in her own teeth. And Dushasan, in front of Dushasan, obviously that was not enough because Dushasan had a strength of I don't know how many 100 elephants or something like that. Now, assuming she also had that much of strength, then the cloth would not have had so much of strength, right? That shearing force would have torn it apart. Cloth would have not cooperated. And then even then, that strength, after that, she came to a moment when she knew that now I have to become Ashrit. That's it. But she had a connect with God, right? Sakha Bhav with Lord Krishna. And that's when she said, Dwarkadhish, Govind, she said, and immediately Ambar Avatar happened. Immediately it happened. So only when she got to that state of perfect surrender after trying out all the options around her, because she had a sense of this thing, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, my strength is mine, my husbands are mine, my relatives are mine. When she was disappointed by all of them, and she completely reposed her faith in God, and that is when the avatar happened. And by the way, this Swamiji goes on to explain that, it happened, and afterwards Draupadi asked Lord Krishna, when I called out your name, there was a delay of, 1 second extra. Why did you delay that? So she knew that if there was a delay of another second, things would have been lost. So she asked Krishna, I know there was a delay even when I called your name. So Krishna said, then the mistake was on your end. She said, how? She said, you called out, I am God. She said, yes. I'm seated within you, always within you. She said, yes. Then why did you first say Dwarkadhish and then Govind? Because I had to first put the throne, become a Dwarkadhish and then come to you. Because in Yathamam Prapadyante Itastathe Bhajamyam, now she's calling God as Dwarkadhish, so he has to become Dwarkadhish and then come, right? Simply call out Govind, he would have been there. So the point here is that when we are ashrit on the bal around, whatever it is, right? In our case, it is like my relatives, my family. We look at them to fill the void as if they are going to make us complete and happy. That mindset has to be corrected gradually, because actually nobody's our Sambandhi. Sambandhi is the one who accompanies you regardless of where you are and across all your lifetimes, and that is only God. Even when we become donkeys and monkeys, God is there with us. But natis and all, they leave you. As soon as you depart this body, after few days, they move on. And that drama continues to unfold lifetime after lifetime, and we keep considering them our natis. I need my family, I feel I miss them. That is fine. We are in that conditioned state, but scriptures are telling us, think deeply about this. Who's your true nati here? Who's your true sambandhi here that you should be getting ashrit on? Yes, Sunita ji, you had a quick question?
Radhe Radhe Sunita ji, please go
Radhe
ahead.
Radhe, Sunita ji.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are extremely audible.
Okay. As you said that since Draupadi did not call him by the name of Gobind, and instead of she was calling Dwarikadesh, so God has to put such kind of attire and all, and he has to come like that way. Isn't it some kind of exaggeration? Because God, he's all powerful. So for him, he has to put the attire and come to the, because whatever name you call him, he will definitely
God will
appear
do
in
his job. I think he's trying to illustrate the point that in whatever feeling, sentiment that you call me, I will meet you like that. So for example, you worship God as an old man, then he will not say, got you, by the way, I'm not old. He will meet you as an old man. If you worship God as a kid, he'll meet you as a kid. If you worship God as a, maybe in other form, he will meet you like that. And if you worship God as a light, he'll meet you as a light. So God will not.
Definitely, yeah, he could come in the form of Dwarikadish also. What is
Yeah,
the big deal for God?
It's not a big deal for him. I think the point that scriptures are trying to make here is that God wouldn't have delayed it for 3 more seconds. Let's say she had called out 5, 6 names. Now God is okay. Now I have to become this, become this, become this, and then the whole purpose is lost. Of course, that would not have happened. This exaggeration is just to illustrate the point that God, you simply call it out with his name. He's always present. He's always with you. And in that case, maybe Krishna played a prank, or he has a good sense of humor. He told that to Draupadi, but he would have still taken care of her. So
that means he just in this point he just want to explain that yathavam prapadante. So
yeah. So see, it's like people. Some people worship God as light. Then God will meet them as light only. Why would he come up in his actually enchanting form in front of them at that point? Because they believe in that. So that is how it goes. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, Krishna wouldn't have derailed the process just because Draupadi kept on calling him with different names, right? Time would have been lost in that case. So that was just a fun part of this whole conversation. But the key here is that God, the moment we surrender, there's not even a moment still in that point. He immediately intervenes. His grace intervenes. So the true owner of everything is Supreme Almighty. We forget the proprietorship of the Lord when we think of something belongs to us. This is the false notion that we carry in our mind. This belongs to me, nothing truly. Now let's look at this mindset that is needed. So we'll pick up a couple of examples. Shivaji for his guru. So one day Shivaji was, standing in his palace and he saw his guru taking bhiksha. So he said, I'm the king and my guru has to do bhiksha. That is not very appropriate. So he goes to his guru and in his bhiksha bowl, he writes that I put my entire kingdom at your feet. Okay, he offers his entire kingdom to his guru. Now guru looks at it and smiles. Guru said, first of all, I'm an ascetic. I don't take bhiksha because I need that. I do that because I can meet people, give them an opportunity for seva and engage with them in a dialogue so that I can, talk about God. And so that is why I do this practice. But since you have already offered this kingdom to me, I most humbly accept it. Now this kingdom belongs to me. Technically, it belongs to his guru now because he has offered that kingdom. But now, as the ruler of or the owner of this kingdom, I give it back to you. And now you rule it as a trustee, not as the king or the owner of this kingdom. So Shivaji continued to rule. What changed between before and after? The consciousness in which Shivaji ruled changed. Previously, he was ruling it as a king. I am the owner of this kingdom. Now what happened? No, I am not. My Guruji is the owner of this kingdom. I am simply a caretaker. And he continued to rule that. And that is essentially the mindset that we need. Okay, that is what this concept is telling us about surrender. And there's another one. from Bharat, Ram. When he said, Ram, you come back, and Ram said, no, I have to uphold the oath that my father, or that promise that my father had made to Mother Kaikeyi, I will not. Instead, they settled for this. Okay, I'm going to take your Charan Paduka and put it on the throne. And I will rule the kingdom, because without a king, the kingdom is not safe, right? Somebody has to take care of administrative affairs for the sake of populace. He said, I'm going to continue to rule, but I will do it as caretaker. It still belongs to you, Ram. I will do it as a caretaker. And you know what? The level of bhakti and the dasya bhav Bharat had. He said, my Aradhya, Ram, will be sleeping on the floor. So he actually said, I can't even sleep on a floor because my position is down below him. So he dug a pit and would sleep there. And he led a life of an ascetic for 14 years. That was his bhav. And how did he rule the kingdom? Did he think of himself as a king or the owner of the kingdom? No. He thought of himself as a mere caretaker on behalf of Ram. That is again the concept of not having a sense of proprietorship, that it doesn't belong to me. Okay, let's look at some more examples. I'll tell you a story of Prahlad as well. So Prahlad, when after this whole Leela of Narsingh Avatar happened, he ruled for thousands of years. People used to have long ages at that time. So when he was a king, his son Virochan and the son of his guru, they had an argument once that who is superior. So they were having a debate who is superior between those two of them. So Virochan said, I am superior. Then the other one said, no, I am. So he said, then we need a referee to break the stalemate. So who should be the referee? And the guru's son suggested that your father, let's make him decide who's more superior. But we will have a bet that whoever is more superior, the other person has to go to gallows. That means he will be hanged. That is the kind of a bet they both had. Okay, so because they were saying, both of them were believing that they are more superior. So then in order to break the stalemate, they said, let's pick up Prahlad. Virochan said, if you pick up Prahlad, who's my father, you may say he's biased if he says I am superior. Guru's son said, no, Prahlad will always do justice. Okay, he had firm belief in him that he doesn't look at it as my son, my kingdom and all. He'll be perfectly impartial and do justice because he's completely detached to that and he's ruling it as a caretaker alone. So they both went to Prahlad and asked, who between two of us is superior? So Prahlad said, it is the Guru's son, because Guru's stature is higher than that of a king. So by that yardstick, Guru's son has to be superior than you. Now they had a bet. Now this guy Prahlad's son had to be sent to the gallows for hanging. So he said, you go to gallows now. Prahlad ordered, go to gallows. Without batting an eyelid, he said, go to gallows. He's not like, oh, my son, I'm going to send him to, for hanging and stuff. Like he said, send him to gallows, completely detached to that process. And then Guru's son said, all right, you said who's superior, I'm superior, right? So by that measure, I order you now to reverse your judgment. Don't send him to gallows. So Prahlad said, all right, bring him back. Both the cases, he was completely, neutral to that part of it because he didn't have that sense of proprietorship, my son, my kingdom, completely detached to that process. So only when you have that spirit of surrender or you run things, not with a sense of proprietorship, but with a sense of being a trustee or a caretaker, can you reach that stage. Otherwise, fear, anxiety, and excessive attachment will keep on gripping your mind. So that is the concept. Let's move on. Now, how should you treat? Okay, who's written this sentence? Okay, doesn't know grammar well, and it happens to be me only. Treating Lakshmi. Let's look at another example. Now, one is this, and one is this. So first one is Ravan, and second is Janak. which one would you like to treat Lakshmi as? Let's have a quick discussion on this and then we move to the question that I'm going to pose. Anybody?
Yes, Samji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Lakshmi should be treated as belonging to Lord Vishnu or Krishna. It should not be treated as it belongs to us.
Fair
So
enough, but
even the Lakshmi
that is a trick question. Okay, there is no Lord Vishnu here at all.
God, okay, God.
There is no God here. Okay, that's again a trick question. Urvi has raised her hands. Yes, you got your 2 attempts. Okay, no third attempt for you today. Yes, Urvi.
Radhe Radhe Urvi. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Actually, I've read this story, so I know that Lakshmi should be treated like a daughter, like King Janak treated her, and then he took care of her and then sent her to Lord Ram. And he knew that Lakshmi belongs to God and not to him. But Ravan thought that it's his property, and then...
Beautiful. Very nice. Very nice. Urvi, your Tattva Gyan, I mean, pretty amazing. Yes, Sri Ramya, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Sri Ramya ji.
Radhe Radhe. In first case, he thought it is mine, and in second case, it's not mine. Like how Swamiji said, Mameti na Mameti.
Very true. Got the concept. Very nice. So that means you have been paying close attention to what we are talking about and the lecture that Swamiji had. Beautiful points. So if you look at it, in case of Ravan, it is for self-enjoyment, self-aggrandizement. It's a loaded word, right? Where I got it from. And the second one is as a trustee or a caretaker. So our scriptures telling us everything, including Lakshmi. Lakshmi is, like Samji said, rightly pointed out, Narayan's wife. Okay, so Lakshmi, we use it like Ravan for our enjoyment. Right? It is my property. We have a sense of proprietorship towards that. It is one of the energies of God that needs to be channelized to serve God. After we have taken care of our needs, of course. Right? Swamiji has given that rule in the new book. But then it is not for self-enjoyment. And when we get into that mindset, again, we are having a sense of proprietorship. So we need to balance it out. Basically, it's more again kind of a caretaker. As a father, Janak was never thought that Sita should always remain with me. He always knew it truly belongs to Lord Ram. And even when she was, said, I'm going to follow him in exile, he was fine because it belonged to Ram. He did not say, you belong to me. Okay, I'm your father and who's going to take care of me in my old age and stuff like that. So there was absolutely no sense of proprietorship that is there. And that is another way of looking at things that belong to us, including the opulence, wealth, and whatever is bestowed to us as by God as a grace. We should try to refrain away from that sense of proprietorship around. We start developing pride around it as well, right? It belongs to me and it is there for my enjoyment. And Swamiji says it's like when you earn more so that you can give more. Not, when your earnings should not be directed towards increasing the status of your life alone. So status of your life does not truly reflect the quality of your life anyway. So the point here is that nothing, including money, we should actually look at it with a sense of proprietorship, because everything belongs to God and anything can be snatched away in a moment. We have absolutely no control over it, including our own life. And one of the God's grace, the biggest one we're talking about, is giving us a human birth. Second is making us meet a guru. Third one is having a spiritual spark. If these 3 graces are there, then the onus is on us to make the most of it. So the question that I'm going to pose today, that we are going to get into, I think it's a good reflection we need to do. We have already spoken about this. Where is your strongest attachment as mind? And reflect on how would you systematically work on it to free up your mind and increase your surrender. So you can think about it. In the meantime, we can make the announcements that we have and possibly wanted to show something as well. But this is an important question and I want to see how well we can reflect on it today. Okay, announcements and anything that we wanted to show, I think. So stay tuned. We have some very, very interesting reels and content to show you today.
Yes, Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Nitinji. Maybe I can first show it and then I'll make the announcements. So I'll first show one reel.
You would have never seen something like this before. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just hyping it up for you.
It's good that you're hyping it up.
Okay, seems like a familiar face to me. Okay, the first one.
Okay, I'll just start sharing my sound. Okay. You all can see the video, right, on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
No audio. You have to.
Wait.
No audio. By the way, you are getting a sneak peek into something which is going to get released. So can you believe your luck today? It's released already?
It got released while the class was going on. So
okay, see, you get the privilege to see that concurrent to the release itself. So you have to fix the audio, otherwise.
Yeah, just I'll...
Now we see audio but not video. We want to see both.
Yes, I'll show you what. Where is this?
No pressure though, okay? Take your time.
Hopefully now it will work fine.
Radhe, 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 Radhe Govinda.
Wonderful. See, our Insta team is very creative. You simply have to dance to their tunes and they will create the magical content around it. You can share the link so that people can go in, like, share, comment. These are the three things we say, right? Or is there a fourth thing they can do as well? Like, share, comment, please.
Enjoy watching it, then like, share and comment.
So, see, we asked for the Gita Jayanti build-up, right? So now you got an idea of what kind of stuff can go out and actually can create a buzz around some of the events. So do share whenever our team is asking you for something. If you can send short snippet, I think Gita Jayanti, we are going to working on that video. Whoever sent, thank you for that. But yeah, thank you team for creating this kind of a content and getting very creative with packaging stuff so that it can reach more people and inspire them as well. So thank you.
Yes, I'll share the links. And Udayji says like, share, comment, and dance. So yeah, that you can all do.
That's completely optional though, okay, not mandatory.
Yeah, so another announcement is that Swamiji's India's tour, actually city tours, is starting today from Gurgaon. So today he'll be in Gurgaon. So people in Delhi, NCR and around, do not miss out the opportunity to meet him in person and interact with him. So today Gurgaon, and then I guess Delhi day after tomorrow, and for next 3 days. And then there's a whole schedule which I'll post. So please do not miss out on the opportunity. Apart from that, we have Gita Jayanti, Bhagavad Gita Summit coming up, for which we just showed the video, and I'll post the links. And I mean, many of you have already submitted your video for wishing for Gita Jayanti. If anyone has missed, I will still post the link today. Today will be the last chance. So if any of you want to submit your video entry, if you haven't done so far, please send in by today, and then we will include that as well. I guess that's it about announcements.
Yes,
and fundraiser, I don't know if we want to do it today.
Which one?
Fundraiser, but maybe next time. We discussed some yesterday. So
tomorrow we can do that.
Yeah.
It's a limited time offer to submit your videos. So thank you for extending that timeline. Now let's get back to our sessions here. India tour is on, so please do avail an opportunity. If you're in or around Gurgaon area, do meet Swamiji. I'm telling you, that should be a top priority. Wherever he is, if you can meet him, he will. That is where your journey will get catapulted. Okay, and you will realize it when you start meeting him and start taking some personal guidance from him. With that, let's move on, go back to our, yes, Shyamji, you had a question? I'm going to share back my screen to, we can contemplate on the question that I have posed for the day. Yes, Shyamji.
Shyamji, where did he? Yeah, Radhe Radhe Shyamji.
Yeah, Radhe, no question, just wanted to share that as Swamiji is today in Gurgaon, so I'm going there to meet him. If anybody
Wow.
of us is around Delhi, Gurgaon, please let's make a chance and effort to meet him. It will be really wonderful. And last time also we had come to Delhi. I was not so keen, not so into it, but I did meet him and I can tell you how it feels. It's really out of the world. So trust you me and just make an extra effort to be there today in Gurgaon. It's very close by from Delhi or Noida or wherever you are around NCR. So please come there. That's it. Thank you so
And
much.
if you get a chance to click pics, do share with us. We will, of
You
course,
always get a chance. Swamiji is so generous, so kind that he always says yes. And trust me, last time I was there, it was quite a people there, but he made everybody come near him, and he gives prasad with his own hands to everybody, no matter how you are. He, as you told it, he remembers your name by face also at times. He will make sure that you meet him and you are there in his mind, in his heart. Trust you me. Radhe Radhe.
And he's extremely approachable, that you would not find him.
Always
Always approachable.
there for you. Yes.
That's the best part of it. Okay, so yeah, please do check it out. And if you get to get some pics, click some pics with him, which is usually very generous to let the, please share it with
I'll
us.
see you tomorrow for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All the
Radhe
best,
Radhe.
and our pranams from the entire DWPG team, basically. Do relate our pranams to him, and all the best to all of you. Best wishes.
Thank you so much. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Yes, Manoranjan ji, I can't wait to hear Kabir Doha from you today.
Yes, Radhe Radhe Manoranjan ji. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Am I audible?
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So a beautiful doha from Sant Kabir on today's context. Sant Kabir says, "मेरा मुझ में कुछ नहीं, जो कुछ है सो तेरा, तेरा तुझको अर्पणे, क्या लागे है मेरा कबीरा, क्या लागे है मेरा." So whatever we have, whatever things we have and we rejoice over that, actually belongs to the Almighty. It never belongs to us. So therefore, if we are just surrendering something which God has given us, then it is more powerful. So it is just a gesture of surrender, nothing. So in that bhav, actually, we should lead our life, entire life on this context. Because it is said, idang namama ka sarthak pratyek mein vyavahar ho. So this idang nama ka sarthak, it should be utilized in our each and every action. Thank you very much.
Dhanyavad, Manoranjan ji. Thanks always for providing very nice insights and quoting Kabir ji's dohas, which definitely add a lot of flavor to our discussion. So thank you so much for that. See, if we think deeply about this concept, the very basis of our life here is God. Because if Paramatma aspect, God is called to be bigger than the biggest and smaller than the smallest, right? He's permeated every atom of this universe and including the very basis of our life. If that aspect leaves, we have no existence at all, right? We are his energy at the end of the day. So he's giving us that and then giving us a body on rental. It's a rental body only, right? For a while. And then this rental is taken away. And all the facilities that are given to us for a specific purpose. This whole life that is given to us, food, relatives, enjoyment, all that stuff is created for us for a purpose. So having that sense of proprietorship, basically leaving that sense of proprietorship is just acknowledging the fact through knowledge, nothing more than that. But that knowledge slips because we are in a conditioned state. And that unconditioning is basically the spiritual, the whole objective of, becoming spiritually aware. Yes, Sandhya, you had a question as well?
I just wanted to add to the announcements. I forgot to mention about the feedback tracker. So I have posted the link for that. Please fill it out with your comments, feedback, questions, if any. And Nitinji personally looks at it and he'll get back to you.
Yes, I have a couple of questions. I'm yet to get back. I think one is Namishji and one is Riti-ji. If you're around, I've not forgotten it. It's just that I've gotten busy, okay, doing nothing, but I'll get back to you very soon. If you have a question and we haven't had a chance to discuss here, please put it in the feedback tracker and you will get a text from an unknown number. That unknown number would be me, okay? So, but I'll mention that, so be rest assured around that.
And I've also shared the link for the community portal. So that's a closed group portal that we have, where we have many exciting discussion threads which are already going on. And I can bet that you don't want to miss out on that. So that's a wonderful resource that you all should go ahead and check. So join the community portal if you haven't yet, and if you've already joined, be active, watch out on those threads, and enjoy those discussions. Yeah, that's it.
What are you going to bet on, by the way, Sandhya?
Bet on, okay, I hadn't thought about it.
So yeah, there's a gratitude thread going on for Swamiji. Please go there and participate in that. It's a good opportunity to, reflect on all the things that he has given us, all the discussions we have here, the knowledge. If not for him, we wouldn't be sitting here today. So it's a good opportunity on this Thanksgiving to reflect on that and do participate on that and take inspiration from it. Because sometimes only by reading on what we have gotten, it inspires us. Can sometimes, yeah, especially if you're feeling sleepy right now, you definitely should read that thread and it will inspire you even more. All right.
But nothing belongs to me. What can I bet on? Only my soul belongs to me.
True. See, when we say, it's like when we give something to God, there's a story, beautiful story, Swamiji says, right? When a child, he goes to a father and say, Father, can you please give me $100? And then father gives him $100. And then he buys a gift for his father. So did the gift come from the child? No, right? It came from the father, but it's a sentiment in which he's offering. So similarly, when we offer something to God, we're thinking we are doing it, or it's ours, it's not. To begin with, it's his grace. We simply get that and offer it back to him. It's just like that child offering it back to father. That sentiment matters, even though everything belongs to father, but the fact that the child is thinking and grateful about it and offering it something back to him, that counts. And that sense of proprietorship is something we have to reduce over time. And you can silently reflect on this question. There would be our attachment around something in our life. And just reflect on this question, what you feel strongly about, very strongly about in life. Could be any agenda, could be a relative, could be a family member, or could be some thing in your life that you think very strongly about. Is it truly yours? And how would you free up your mind from that attachment? By putting it in perspective, that attachment in perspective. It's a self exercise for today. If you want to share something, feel free to, please.
Radhe Radhe Shyamji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Shyamji.
There is again a question in the comment box from Sai Ramji. He's asking, does soul belong to us?
Soul.
And then he's asking one more. I thought that also belongs to God, and it is through his grace that the soul was created, given free will. Are we not just a tiny marginal energy of God?
So soul belongs to us. When we say we are soul, we are soul. And nothing belongs, basically soul. And soul was not created, first of all. It is an eternal entity. Okay, soul, Jeev, Brahm and Maya, these three are eternal entities. Nobody created anybody and nobody can destroy anybody. These three entities will always remain. Brahm, God, Jeev, us, soul, and Maya. These three are eternal entities. I'll get into that. We have discussed about this concept. We'll get into it.
We are soul, you mean to say?
We are soul. So like, do we belong to ourselves is what it is.
Us. Okay.
Yeah. So soul is us only. Right? Soul is us. We are basically fragmental energy of God. What truly belongs to us is our free will, man, buddhi, which basically we carry as part of our subtle body. So other than that, nothing belongs to us, truly speaking. And who's our true companion across lifetime? God. He doesn't leave us, no matter what we do. So if we don't become God realized, we are increasing the work of God, workload of God, because he has to continue assisting us and keep noting down our karmas And in every species, he has to keep accompanying us as well. So what truly belongs to us is our man and buddhi only, nothing else. Free will aspect of it. And that is the only thing God is asking for as well. The whole game of spirituality is the only thing that belongs to us that God cannot snatch away. I mean, he could, but that defeats the purpose, is the free will. The day we surrender our free will, man and buddhi, that's it. That's all. That is what surrender is. And these are the 6 principles. Tomorrow we'll talk about how do we know in what stage of surrender we are in. What are some of the symptoms that would tell us, are we progressing on surrender or how far we have come? We will not know that. God and Guru would know that. Guru can know the extent of your surrender, but there are certain things which would indicate, what is the condition of our surrender right now. We'll talk about that tomorrow and take inspiration from a video as well.
Thank you. Radhe. Thank you so much, Adil. Thank you so much.
I have one question. Can one have a sense of proprietorship for God and Guru, like Guru as well?
Yeah, so there is a bhajan, no? Tu hi to hai mera nand nandan, main bhi. We are not saying main hi, main bhi. So yeah, God belongs to me as well as others. So he definitely, I mean, you get that when you get into solidifying a bhav, you start having it. It's my God, he's my friend, he's my beloved, he's my son. So that is a good proprietorship to have, where you feel them as mine, because they are truly yours. That is the only relationship which is yours, God and Guru, nothing else. Nobody accompanies you. Nobody can fight your prarabdha. Nobody can give you protection. Nobody can take you beyond this circle of life and death. So they are your true natis across lifetimes. Rest all are faces. They just keep changing posts. Today, this life, you see these faces, these posts as your parents, mother, father, kid, all the drama that is unfolding, and then another life, somebody else, and emotions remain the same for those people, because we start having a sense of proprietorship. They are truly mine. They are truly mine. My self-interest is in them. They are going to give me happiness. If I don't get happiness from them, if that relation, for some reason is not there, then I'll become sad. This is all our illusion or the ignorance of our mind. This is what our scriptures are telling us, because they are truly not your natis. They will move on. If you move on, they will also move on after a while. Or if they move on, you can't really accompany them after life. Everybody is on their own journey. And the only thing that you can take along with you is your spiritual wealth that you have acquired, nothing more.
Very true, very true. Thank you. And there is one comment as well from Abhishek ji. मैं याचक हूँ दाता तेरा, मेरा तो मैं भी है तेरा.
Wow, wonderful. Very nice. मैं भी तेरा. True. He's called Prana Vallabh. He's the very basis of our life years. Right? He's the one who's, yesterday we said, right, when we are deep asleep, he's running our body as well, that energy. Otherwise, if we are in deep sleep and we don't wake up, we won't even know we were in deep sleep, right, at that point. So yeah.
Yes, I think Shri Ramya ji just messaged that she wants to participate in the devotional segment.
Okay, so are we ready for 10 o'clock? We are technically over with our session. Now you're welcome to stay back for the devotional segment, where we are going to chant our way to glory. And who are the people who are going to chant their way to glory? Can you please?
Shri Ramya ji, has volunteered.
Do you have any more? Ashutosh ji. Ramya ji.
Yeah. Before that, there is another comment from Seema ji. I have heard that Hanumanji is still waiting for Sri Ram and that he is still on earth. After Sri Ram, our supreme God appeared as Krishna. So why didn't Sri Krishna try to meet Hanumanji? Okay, that's a question. Yeah.
So Hanumanji, first question. Yes, Hanumanji is very much alive. He's supposed to, Hanumanji, they are Chiranjeevi. Then you have Vedvyas ji, right? Some of these people, they are Chiranjeevi. And there is a story I'll probably bring in when we talk about ego and pride of Hanumanji. Yes, Hanumanji understands, Krishna, Ram, they are same, but his Ishtadev is Ram. So wherever there is a Ram Katha, it is said that there is a asan that is created for Hanumanji, and he comes and sits there. And in one of the temples in Bombay, it happened. This is a real incident. This guy Panditji, they said, why do you keep this asan? We don't see anybody here. He said, it is for Hanumanji. He comes wherever the Ram Katha happens, Hanumanji comes. So he said, no, there is no Hanumanji. He said, come tomorrow, I'll prove it to you. He said that just for, for the sake of saying that. And then he said, Hanumanji, you only have to save me. And next day when they said the asan, the other person, he said, you can come and check. See, there is nobody here. He said, no, you go and check it out. This guy said, and they could not move that asan. It became so heavy. And I'll tell you one experience in RKT Radhakrishna temple also. Okay, there was Ram Katha was going on. And in the evening, I think they were reading Ramcharitmanas or Ram Katha, Dohas of Ramayana. One of these things was happening. And it was midnight. It was an Akhand Kirtan. And people who were there, there were limited people. Some people could not turn up. They were feeling sleepy and they could not even recite properly. You need to be in a flow when you have to do that. And there was, from nowhere, there was a guy who came with a dholak and everything, and fluently he started speaking. He did that for 3-4 hours, and after that, he was never to be seen there in the temple. And people have a reason to believe it's Hanumanji himself who came. He comes. Maybe there's a Ram Katha going on, and he might come as an old man or somebody. He'd quietly sit. You won't know that. But yes, Hanumanji is Chiranjeevi, and he comes. His Ishtadev is Ram. He knows that Krishna, and he's a Rudra avatar, Shiva avatar only, by the way. But that's his choice. That's how he wants to serve Ram, and he's in love with Ram. And the reason he's orange is because he asked Sita once that, why do you put this tilak? He said, it because it is pleasing to Ram. He said, if that's the case, he put the entire Sundandur on him. That is the state of his devotion for Lord Ram. So Hanumanji is Chiranjeevi, by the way. He stays. He's going to be there through the end of this Kali Yuga. So, and if you get a lot of people get to see him as well. But maybe there's a criteria for that. At least I haven't seen it. But that temple incident, if you ask people, they say it was Hanumanji. It had to be Hanumanji. Who would come in the middle of night with a dholak and start reciting it fluently and then never to be seen again in the temple? Right? That kind of thing happened.
This actually got me excited. We are going to have this Bhagavad Gita chanting, right, of all the 700 verses in the upcoming Gita summit.
Gita Janti,
yeah. Maybe if Hanumanji wants to join again.
See, God does come. We won't come to know about it. He does come. With his Yoga Maya power, everything is possible, right? We need to have that purity. It's like the more ferrous you have, the more attraction you'll feel towards the magnet. So if you continue working on that front, we can start experiencing God as well, right? And God comes in our lives also. With his Yoga Maya, you never know when he's helping us. Right? Let's say there's a wife at home and his husband is in a deputation in some country, and he's supposed to come back after a couple of months, and she's in an emergency, and all of a sudden, there's a knock at the door, and he sees he's back, and then she gets the required help from him, and then the business as usual life starts. But he's in deputation, and through his Yoga Maya, God can do anything, make us forget also. So he does intervene from time to time. We will not come to know. That is a different thing.
Awesome. So now we'll move on to the...
Okay, let's move on to our devotional segment. We have 2 hands today, so we can have a bit of a chanting before we wrap it up. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about pride, ego, and the concept of surrender a little more. Maybe 2 more sets, and then we will have one session where we'll put it all together and talk about some of the tools that can be applied to increase our surrender. Maybe 2 more, and then we will move on. I think chapter 2 is going to come to an end, and we'll get into karam, akaram, vikaram, karam yog, karam sannyas, all those concepts. That is what we're going to discuss. So let's pick up the hands and enjoy some devotional chanting now.
Yes. So maybe
you were the first one, so we will give you the first privilege today. Shri Ramya, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Shri Ramya ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. I got very inspired by Sunita ji's singing of Keval Ashtakam yesterday, and that song has been running in my mind throughout. So is it okay if I sing the same bhajan? I want to know because Sunita ji has done the meaning. Okay.
Yes, please.
Madhuram madhuretyopi mangaletyopi mangalam pavanam pavanetyopi
हरेर्नामैव केवलम् आब्रह्मस्तम्भपर्यन्तम् सर्वं मायं जगत् सत्यं सत्यं पुनः सत्यम् हरेर्नामैव केवलम् स गुरु स पिता चापि स माता बन्धवोऽपि सा शिक्षये चेत् तथा स्मार्तुम् हरेर्नामैव केवलम् निश्वासेन हि विश्वासः कदरूढो भविष्यति कीर्तनीयमतो बाल्यात् हरेर्नामैव केवलम् हरिसाधवसेत् तत्र यत्र भागवता जना गायन्ति भक्तिभावेन हरेर्नामैव केवलम् अहो दुःखं महादुःखं दुःखतरं यथा काचर्तं विस्मृतं रत्ना हरेर्नामैव केवलम् दीयतं कर्णो नियतं वाचा गीयतं नित्यं हरेर्नामैव केवलम् तृणीकृत्य जगत् सर्वं राजते सकलोपरि चिदानन्दमयं शुद्धं हरेर्नामैव केवलम् हरेर्नामैव केवलम्. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Ramya ji. Very nice. See, Sunita ji, you inspired another soul to sing and contemplate on a bhajan. So very nice. Loved it, Shri Ramya ji. Next, I think we have Ashutosh. He's going to do Bhakti Shatak, I believe. But go ahead, regardless. And then Sunita ji is going to sing again. So look forward to that. Please go ahead.
Yes, Radhe Radhe Ashutosh ji. Please go
Radhe
ahead.
Ashutosh ji. Your sparrows are back too. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. It's not from Bhakti Shatak. It's just, I think, some bhajan from Maharaj ji only.
Go ahead, go ahead.
श्याम चरण सरनाई गहोरे मन श्याम चरण शरणाई गहोरे मन अंत समय को कामनाई है अंत समय को कामनाई है मातु पिता सुत भाई गहोरे मन श्याम चरण शरणाई गहोरे मन यह जग मृग कृष्णा सम देखत यह जग मृग कृष्णा सम देखत सुख लवलेस न पाई गहोरे मन श्याम चरण शरणाई गहोरे मन श्याम चरण शरणाई गहोरे मन. Thank you, Radhe.
Thank you, Ashutosh ji. You have picked up a bhajan which is very appropriate for the session that we are having right now. That, yoke your mind to the lotus feet of Shyam, Krishna, God, and look at all the attachments that you have in perspective, because not even a trace of happiness they have the ability to give you. So take all your attachments, tie it up in a rope, and yoke it to the feet of God. That is a very beautiful bhajan from Maharajji. Thank you so much for that. Great. Now we are getting to Sunita ji and look forward to your melodious singing. Sunita ji, please go ahead. The floor is all yours.
Okay. Okay, let me put special mic for today. 1 second.
We feel special because we are going to choose a special mic for this session. So thank you very much.
Oh, second.
Is it just mic or video? One of the two will work, or?
No, it is my special mic. Hello, am I audible?
Your sound is echoing very nicely. Please go ahead.
Okay, today I just want to sing. It is very, I think, familiar bhajan. It's called Suno Suno Savareki. I probably, I feel this bhajan is sung by the gopis in separation with Krishna. So let me sing. Suno Suno Savareki, बंसी है बाजी, नैनों से धार धार कजरा बहे जी, जियारा तर से नैना बरसे, जियारा तर से नैना बरसे, प्यासी प्यासी अखियां काहे से बरसे रे, सुनो सुनो सावरे की बंसी है बाजी, नैनों से धार धार कजरा बहे जी, जियारा तर से नैना बरसे, जियारा तर से नैना बरसे, प्यासी प्यासी अखियां काहे से बरसे रे, धुन सुन बावरी भई रहना बीती जागी न सोई, रस बन राधे गोई और कान्हा, गूंज वो गलियां रोई संग मेरे जमुना रोई, गैया रोई बछिया रोई और कान्हा, मधुबन गूंज तरना श्याम रंग रूप लुभाना, सिमरन करके हरे और कान्हा, तू है निर्मोही माना भाई तुझे मोह सताना, दर्श दिखा दे बेरी और कान्हा, सुनो सुनो सावरे की बंसी है बाजी, नैनों से धार धार कजरा बहे जी, जियारा तर से नैना बरसे, जियारा तर से नैना बरसे, प्यासी प्यासी अखियां काहे से बरसे रे, सुनो सुनो सावरे की बंसी है बाजे. Thank you so much.
Sunita ji, amazing. You are giving us goosebumps with this beautiful, beautiful bhajan. And I think our video team should extract it and put it on portal. A lot of people can benefit from it who are not able to attend today's thing. And I'm falling short of words. It was so powerful. Loved it. You know, this is why we have this devotional segment, and amazing. Loved it. Thank you so much for that.
I cannot stop from saying right now. I mean, Sunita ji, this is the most excellent experience of a bhajan that I've heard from a person. Actually, I mean, this was beautiful. Seriously, I mean, amazing combination of singing, bhav, lyrics, everything. Thank you so much. I mean, of course, this has to be there in all our community portal and maybe other social media as well. So beautiful. Thank you so much.
God's grace flows through us when we do it for His pleasure and put our bhav into it. It reflects. You can see that, and you are graced from that standpoint. It's our honor to have you here and be able to listen this firsthand. So thank you so much for that.
I mean, and such a beautiful thing. Like she also used a mic, and I was awesome. I mean, and people are saying once more, once more. There's so many requests of that.
We'll have once more request to you, Sunita ji. So you better keep preparing all these beautiful bhajans. Sam ji is usually laughing and she's serious. That means it was really heartwarming and touching. Okay, very nice.
She also wants to yes, Samji. So I'll unmute her. Radhe Radhe Samji.
No. I was thinking all best singers are coming into this session, Payal ji, then Sunita ji, and I'm thinking if these people join JKU music, they'll give the best contributions. I'm thinking.
It will be my pleasure. It will be my pleasure for singing God. I'm always ready to sing for God in any organization, anything. I don't bother it. So it's completely grace of God. Because I have never learned any music. Although I have tried many times, but it could not be happen due to some personal reasons. But still, I just love to sing for God. That's it. I'm not much qualified. So I just love to sing, and I just sing through my heart. So that's why I like to connect with Him. So maybe that's why it's a grace of God, nothing else. So it's Your Highness that you are appreciating so much. I'm so owed to all of you. So thank you so much.
Very nice, Sunita ji. Very, very nice.
There are many more hands. I think I would more.
So we would let everybody talk about. I think I can see a couple of hands. So Sunita ji, you'll have to absorb all the accolades and keep rendering this service to this big group that we have with your melodious voice from time to time, because it really adds to the color of devotion for sure. So yes, Shri Ramya ji, go ahead. Anita ji, Shri Ramya ji, and Shyam ji is going to say a lot of stuff, I'm sure. So let's hear them out.
And there are requests that you have to sing every day.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I will.
Yeah, Shri Ramya ji, please go ahead.
That'll be very nice.
I know that if you are starting singing classes, I will be the first student to join, and please do consider my request. It was really amazing. And
I'm not a teacher. I'm not a teacher.
Bhajans. Yeah, but maybe you could start teaching us bhajans, and thank you so much.
Yes, I will. I can sing, but I'm not qualified to teach anyone.
It's coming straight from your heart, right? So that purity comes.
Yeah.
You can get that, that connect.
But if you technically, or if you as a professionally, you judge me, then there may be so many flaws. But as a bhav, you may be connected, because I just sing through my heart.
Bhav is the key thing, right? And we have like people who can pick up bhav and people who can pick up vibes. So we have all kind of experts here. And I can tell you, it is outstanding. Very heartwarming and very nice, basically. Loved it. All right, let's hear from a couple of other hands as well.
Shyamji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. I know that Sunita ji had spoken last time that she came here by chance. And now when she's here by chance, हम लोग यहाँ पर 100 लोग हैं आसपास, we'll make sure the chance doesn't go away. She now will be forced to stay with us for as long as we are here. So I'm sure you will not make us leave this session for almost a decade. So that's for sure. She's here with us for at least 10 years or more, and more, not or, and more. And the way, and see, one thing I would like to say that we are not here judging anybody, because this group is not for judgmental people. This is for people who are mental, who are totally in the God, for the God, with God. So, and we all know how you sing, Sitaji. It clearly shows. We can, and as Dinabhai said that we are here with vibes. We all are here. We all have vibes, and the vibes are truly greatly connected with God, Krishna, nowhere else. So we are not judging you, not doing anything else. We can sense that how one sing. When I can sing, so anybody can sing. I am not a good singer, but I thought कि मैं बहुत अच्छा गाता हूँ, भजन गाता हूँ. And for last couple of years, I only listen to Krishna bhajan. I hardly listen to anything else. I don't even want to listen. And Krishna bhajan I can listen day in day out. Same story, same tune, same tones, and I can't get bored. And the way you sing, the way you have come in last 4 days, I'm sure this was for first week, and I'm sure this is Krishna's way of saying us, telling us that wait, I am still there. So don't leave me, don't lose hope. I will be with you forever in any other form. And we might not know which form he comes, how he comes, where he comes, but when people like you are around us, we are all sure that he is with us. I can say on and on that it is my side, but that's it. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Shyamji. I think Sunita ji came here by chance, but I'm sure you'll stay back here with choice. So that's the hope. And like Shyamji said, we are all a small group of mental people here, and we are here with our wives, not wives, right? But I'm kidding. But it is very nice, and nobody judges here. It's a closed group. It's just like an extended family. You can say that, and it just grows on you, right? The more you attend that, and it's so nice to hear that, that flavor of devotion that is brought in our sessions. You have taken it to the next level for sure. Okay, let's quickly hear 3 more hands. Thank you, Shyamji. Very nicely articulated. And as you can see, our satsang is, new dimensions are getting added. It's all God's grace pouring in for sure. Yes, Anita ji.
Yeah, nobody judges, but we all get super inspired. So thank you for inspiring us.
It's only inspiration, no judgment here.
Yes. Okay, Anita ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. After hearing Sunita ji's voice, I reminded of Sunidhi Chauhan. It is so beautiful and so melodious. Like you have no idea what you got with you, what had God had bestowed on you. Even if you participate like in a professional level, I am very sure you will get selected, and they don't get to find any mistakes in you. It's the bhav and the shruti what you are getting. It is awesome. And many times we only get to have the bhavs and not to judge about others' voices, how they are singing and what they are shruti, get it or not. But your voice is amazing, on par, and I'm very sure you be confident that you have everything, good qualities in you, and just sing and mesmerize us. Just thank you so much.
But if you go to the professional platform or arena, there will be not 1 but 5 judges. Okay, so just keep that in mind. They will judge you. Here nobody will judge you.
Even though she will win, I am sure about that. I think she wouldn't have tried by now. She can try, I think. I'm sure about that.
Yep, you've got talent for sure. Thank you, Anita ji, for such good, encouraging word for Sunita ji. Let's hear from, I can see a couple of more hands.
Swati ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Swati ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Sunita ji, you are really blessed with singing talent, and you are so humble. Still, you feel that it's all God's grace. But whatever you sang today, it was from your heart, and that I could feel that bhav also. It was like Gopi Geet usually makes me tearful, and I was really, tears came in my eyes when you were singing this. So it was really, I was feeling what you were singing. So thank you for this song very much. Radhe Radhe.
Okay, Surya Prakash.
Yes, Surya Prakash, quick.
Radhe Radhe.
Sunita ji's bhajan is motivating to others, and whatever means in this daily in sessions, everything one after one is motivating. One is the talk, reading the Shukla, the shlokas is motivating. Sunita's bhajan is very motivating.
Wonderful.
That's what I want to say.
Thank you, Surya Prakash ji.
And the fact that you said such words of encouragement is also very motivating.
Yes, Radhe Radhe.
All right, last 2 hands and then we freeze it. We are already at 10:30 mark today. Yes, Ajit ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.
Actually, in today's session, we have discussed two episodes. One is the Hanumanji used to come whenever Ram Katha is there, and Draupadi, the god Krishna, come to save the devotee. In our case, I feel that Krishna used to come in our session, and wherever he finds his devotees are dedicated and surrendering to him. So Sunita ji is in form of Krishna for us. Radhe Radhe.
Wow, that's the best compliment Sunita ji has had today for the day. I don't know. We don't want to put you on a spot. It's, let's say, Krishna's spark of his splendor is manifesting through you, and that's about it.
Yeah, and God says wherever you see inspiration, it is coming from God only. So
Very
seeing
true. Very true. See, Lata Mangeshkar, when she used to sing, right, every time she would get on stage, there was a very interesting fact that she said. She said, I used to pray to God. First of all, she will not wear that. For her, it was a place of worship. And every time I would pray to God, before singing, because I knew that he has given me this special talent. And if I will not have that gratitude for him, that talent can be taken away from me anytime. And that is the feeling she kept with her throughout her life. Such a big thing. But because she kept on having that gratitude and some of the amazing singing she did, right? That itself actually. So God has his way of taking seva from people and giving them spark of his gift and get, amazing things done. But when I heard that interview, I was like, wow, what a humility she had throughout her life. And that's the right way of looking at any talent at all. How best we can put it to use for the service of God, right? Or for his pleasure. Thank you so much, Sunita ji, again for that. All right, Kripa, last but not the least, Kripa now. Kripa is going to give some words of Kripa on all of us. So please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, everyone, and thank you for singing, Sunita ji. I have only one line for you. Every song you sing becomes my favorite song.
Oh, so sweet.
So sweet. Then, if you think you have heard your most favorite song, you just have to wait for the next one. Okay? Because that will become your most favorite then. Great. So with that, we come to the end of today's session. Wonderful session, and the icing on the cake we all know. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. And thank you again for a very engaging session, and spending these 60 minutes, 60 to 90 minutes with us every day. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow to continue our discussion.
Thank you so much, and so inspired to be part of this satsang. So thank you so much. Thank you, Nitinji. Radhe Radhe, everyone. Have a good night and a good day.
And may Hanumanji with you. Okay. Radhe Radhe.
Yes.